Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for New Bedford Wellness Nutrition class. I'm Rachelle Corchado, and again we're going to cook in my kitchen. I decided today we'd make some salmon cakes or salmon patties. If you do choose to make this recipe, you can either buy a nice fillet. I purchased one today at Shaw's for about $10.99 a pound. But if you are short on time, like I decided on purchasing Bumblebee in the can. This will be the exact size you'll need to do this particular salmon patty / cake recipe. You're going to get 4 good sized patties out of this amount. 304 calories per serving and 27.5 grams of protein. So if you are focusing on a more meatless time of the year right now for some families, this might be ideally a good recipe you may want to make. It's the salmon cakes again. We're going to do some meatless recipes, so I'm going to get right into it and get going. So I took my can of salmon, I drained it. I did have to search through it for some bones. There was very little, but make sure when you open it, you clean it out really well. You just want to sift through the actual fish and see if there are any little bones there, because you really don't want to make a patty and then have your family member crunching on a little bone. It's not that pleasant to do. But as you can see, this is a good amount. This 1 can here I have here. You do need to use 2 eggs, which I went ahead and I beat in advance. Just going to put that right in there. Next, I have 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. 1 small onion that I have diced already. You can choose to use a yellow onion or red. You can also add in some peppers, which might be fun to do for some added color, like maybe green, red, or perhaps yellow. Put that right in there. And then the seasonings that we're going to use, I am switching to more of salt-free seasonings for my family. So I have some seasonings here. If you want to use garlic, whatever you prefer, of course, please use that for your recipe. So once I have this all in here, I'm going to go ahead and incorporate it. And I thought today we'd change it up and I would use my air crisper to make these patties. I did originally was going to use the oven and do that, or perhaps just brown them on top of the stove. Whatever method you want to use to cook these patties, go right ahead. So that's the background noise you hear, is my Ninja getting ready for these patties. So I'm just going to go ahead and incorporate it all in. As you can see, it's like a consistency similar to making maybe crab cakes or something like that. You can also, again, substitute the salmon for crab if you prefer to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead, mix it all in so the consistency is nice. Get everything incorporated, fold it over a couple more times, and then I'm going to make my 4 good size patties. So once I have it all together, I'm just going to divide it like this into 4s. And that's a pretty good portion right there that we're going to make. In the meantime, your air fryer is already preheated. You're going to set it to 400 degrees. And this is only going to take roughly about 10 minutes from start to finish once you get it in your air fryer. So I'm just going to wear gloves to make them into my little patties. And just fold them over a couple times. And that's what we're going to get right there. I'm going to push it down a little bit so it's nice and flat. It's a great size. If you had more to feed than 4, perhaps you may want to divide these in 2, and that would give you even more of a recipe if you had a bigger crowd to feed. But I feel like these salmon cakes are ideal for those who, if you are meal prepping, you can certainly do so. If you're cooking for Lent and you just want to switch up things from just eating traditional fish, these might be a nice idea to incorporate, and they taste great. I would think we're going to serve them today over some greens when we're all said and done. If you want to pair them with maybe another type of vegetable, you can certainly do so. So I'm just going to get all the remaining of this. And so here's our patties. They are pretty good sizes right here. And now that I have them all set, we're going to go over to our air fryer, and it's on crisp right now. It's good and hot. It's ready for these. And always be careful when you're using anything like this when you're cooking. I'm going to place them in my crisping basket. And again, we're going to cook them. I'm going to go about 10 minutes on these. And while that's cooking, there's no need to flip them. You just leave them as is. Let them cook all the way through. Just going to clean my hands. And I did talk to my mom about this recipe because I like to run things off her. And she has an original recipe that she wrote on an index card for salmon patty cakes, which was absolutely delicious. And it did incorporate, instead of using the vegetable oil, it was actually mayonnaise. But then we later decided that a nice aioli might be nice to have it with your greens and serving it with a little bit of lemon on the side. So right over here, I already have my plate prepared. I did went ahead and I made some earlier. And these are our little delicious salmon cakes patties, which I think will be a definite crowd pleaser. And I'm just going to put a little bit of cracked pepper on top. And you can, of course, side it with a lemon. Really make it look pretty. And there it is, less than 10 minutes start to finish. Salmon patty cakes with a little bit of greens and some lemon. I do hope you try this out. Let me know how you do and have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me.